Hey, it's been a while since I've done a reading vlog, but recording the Shoot From A Hip timeline, which you should watch if you haven't already, link will be in description, made me realize that I missed recording videos, and well, that, and I did technically start another reading vlog, which is technically, I think, well, but it is halfway done, but I don't know when it will be complete, because I'm waiting on another book to be able to finish it. But so until then, I figured I'd do a different reading vlog, which I saw just Ali do, so her channel and the video will be linked in the description, though I'm sure loads of people have done this over the years. I remember seeing someone do it with their dog in a TBR video. My cat chooses the books I read. Oh, and I'm Milo, by the way, because I'm putting off starting Percy Jackson, if you can see, which that will also be a reading vlog, a spoiler one, because it's an old series. And I'd like to communicate, I suppose, my thoughts on it. But yeah, I'm putting off reading it because I've owned a lot of those books for years, and I'm scared of not enjoying it. In just Ali's video, her cat picked 3 books. I have 2 cats, so I will be having each of them pick 1 book, so it will only be 2-book reading vlog. I went onto my Storygraph, it's Milo Bove, I think, so follow me on there, and just clicked suggest, as you'll see here. That randomly picks, I think, like 5-6 books, whatever, and so I will be taking 4 books from that, for each of my cats to pick one. I don't know. So if you've watched my Shoot From Here Belong From timeline, then you would have met Daisy. That's not a cat, by the way, that's a plushie. And so she'll pick that. The other cat is Loki. He's a big ginger. Yeah. That's the cat's. He's very bitey. Yeah. So the first 2 books that the cats will be picking from are Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is the only Ali Hazelwood book I own. Honestly, the only one I really want to read, because it's about chess. I like chess, and all of her other books are about like STEM stuff, which I'm not a huge fan of. If she releases, and obviously the supernatural stuff, which they're generally alright with fantasy, but not really interested in that. If she releases a book about fungi, then I'll read it. So it'll be between this and The Summer That Changed Us by Kathy Bramley, because it was in the random thing, and good timing because it is currently June as of filming, so look. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get treats, put 1 on each book, and find a cat. Can find the cat first, then put the books on the treat, and whichever book the cat goes to first, that's the one I'll be reading. So I don't know which cat we'll pick. You'll see in a second. Found Daisy, so she will be the first one. There's no saying that she'll actually go for the treats, but here we go. Looks like we will be reading The Summer That Changed Us. If she can actually bite in the treat. There you go, Daisy. Okay, so we will be reading The Summer That Changed Us by Kathy Bramley first. It did occur to me that I did put this book in front of her face for the treat, but I'm gonna count it anyway. I will get to Check and Mate at some point. There you go. So I can't remember what I bought this, so I can't remember what it's about, but okay. The sparkling seaside village of Neril Bay, with its beautiful beach scattered with sea glass, is a place where anyone can have a fresh start. For Kate, it is the perfect hideout after a childhood trauma left her feeling exposed. For Robin, the fresh sea air is helping to heal her scars, but maybe not her marriage. For Grace, a new start could help her move on from a heartbreaking loss. When they meet on Sea Glass Beach one day, They form an instant bond, and soon they're sharing prosecco, laughter, and even their biggest secrets. Together, the women feel stronger than ever before. So, can their friendship help them face old fears and find happy endings, as well as new beginnings? This has... oh, there's an epilogue. And how many chapters? 40. Makes sense. There's... how many pages? Just under 400. Fun. If I end up DNFing, I'll have Daisy pick another book for between Check and Mate and one of the other books from that list that I was interested in reading. But yeah, I'm guessing this is just a general fiction, which will be fun, and I can't remember the last time I read just a general fiction. Yeah, for the last couple of days, I've basically just been reading history books, which always fun, but I'd like to set into a fictional world again. I'll try and keep this non-spoiler, and it'll say in the title, obviously, if it is spoiler or not. Yeah, ooh, it opens with a letter. That's cute. Well, when I have an update, I'll tell you. You can tell I'm out of practice, can't you? Alright, okay, I finished chapter 1, which is Katie's POV, which makes sense, it's her name first on the blurb. And it's a cute little thing setting up her dynamic, her place of work, her relationships, who's mainly important to her life. That, oh, this is cute. And then I knew on the back it says childhood trauma, but I wasn't expecting that. Something tells me this is going to be a lot more intense, or at least Casey's POV is going to be a bit more intense than I thought it was. And Daisy agrees, if you heard that. It is the next day, and I'm still in my pajamas because it's still relatively early and I've got nothing to do today, so I'm gonna enjoy this for as long as possible. I've moved down here because my bedroom is right next to the office and my dad's working in there right now. But I have now... well, last night I read the chapter 2 and chapter 3, which introduced us to the other POVs of Robin and Grace. So far I think Casey and Robin's... yeah, Robin's POV is probably like my favorite, and Grace's does seem interesting, but I'm not, I guess, fully invested. Though, to be fair, her chapter did have, I think, a bit more of a grasp than it does. Then it's not just about the loss, like it says on her back, which will be interesting. And Robin's thing on the back, it says, the fresh sea air is helping her heal her scars, and maybe not her marriage. So I thought her marriage was going to be a lot more rocky than it seems to be, because it's very obvious that they love each other, Robin and her husband. But I think the main conflict here is that they need to sit down and have a conversation, but neither of them want to have this conversation because Robin's recovering from something, and so that's put a strain on their relationship and their financial situation, and so that's probably why it's a bit rocky, and probably why they don't want to have the conversation. But yeah, and so I guess in that case, Casey's still my favourite so far, from what little information from the one chapter, because I feel like Robin's chapter is going to make me the most upset, Casey's the one who's going to make me the most angry, and I'm not sure about Grace yet. I mean, Grace will probably get my sympathy, because she is going through a lot, but we'll see. Hello, it's significantly later in the day, as you can tell. Still in the living room, and also I've changed. I'm at the 100-page mark, and I'm just finished chapter 9, and I figured every 100 pages until the end of the book I'd do an update, as much as a non-spoiler as I can. I meant to update you when I'd gotten to the point where all three of them had met, but my dad was talking very loudly and I didn't want to risk his voice coming up in the background, because I don't know how he feels about YouTube and stuff, and also don't know how sensitive the meeting he was having is. But anyway, so the way they all met was kind of funny, if not a bit painful, at least on Grace's part, but a fun way to think. I think Katie's still my favorite POV, but Robin's definitely still very intriguing though admittedly, when in the blurb we started talking about like her scars, I thought there'd be a bit more intrigue when it came to that, but it's very point blank. Like, it says like her second POV chapter what happened, which I wasn't expecting. I thought it would be a bit more of a mystery, but clearly not. Something I forgot to mention is that they're all about like 10 years ish apart in age. So Katie's in her 20s, Robin's in her 30s, and Grace is in her 40s, which I'm interesting to see how that affects their dynamic and like how they communicate with each other, and like obviously they have very different life experiences. Yeah, so Grace's story still sad, but still not as interesting as the other two, unfortunately. Though I do enjoy Robin and Grace more when they're interacting as a trio. I mean, but that feels kind of mean. But obviously, if there's more interesting stuff before I hit 200 pages, then I'll try and give a non-spoiler update. But yeah, relocated back to my room. I'm now in just my binder and shorts because it's so hot. But that's not important. This isn't a 100-page update. No, this is so important. So we've gotten to the point where Katie's explained her situation to Grace and Robin, and reading the situation and the thing that Katie went through, it's horrible, horrifying, very uncomfortable, the way she was taken advantage of, and how the only people on her side were her family, and like the people around her abandoned her. It was just, and how young she was, it was so upsetting and horrifying. Yeah, and then the chapter after that, something with Grace. So I'm more invested in her storyline now than I was before, now that this development, because a claim has been made, which she is immediately denied, but I'm questioning it a little bit. But obviously we have no proof yet. But speaking of Grace, one of the things that I've picked up on so far is that Grace is supposed to be 46, but she acts like she's in like her 70s, or at least she says phrases that you wouldn't typically hear of like someone in their 40s. And granted, the only people in my 40s that I've interacted with are like my teachers and my parents, not like peers. So it's entirely possible that they do speak the same way Grace does, but it just doesn't feel very realistic, and it's slightly annoying. But yeah, the group has yet to learn about Robin's situation, but presumably that will come up at some point, mainly because the thing that happened with Grace. And I have thoughts on what brought up the childhood trauma again, for like what caused it to resurface. Like, it's entirely possible it was like the original people that caused it, or like someone else, but obviously I can't say without spoiling anything. But I have a theory, and if the theory is correct, I will tell you. It probably won't be, because I have a feeling this is still like just general fiction, and I doubt it will be like, well, I was gonna say it wouldn't be that heavy, but like, no, the stuff that Katie went through, the stuff that all three of them are going through, are very are very deep and upsetting. So, and this is probably like my first adult general fiction, so that's probably why I'm a bit surprised by it. But I'm about to start chapter 13. We'll see. I'll probably come back to you when Robin's thing is revealed, or at the 200-page mark. You'll find out in a second. We're back in the living room, as you can tell. And it's actually 2 days later. I meant to film yesterday, but it was really, really warm. And also, I was in public, so I didn't feel comfortable filming. But, reached the 200-page mark yesterday, so, and as I said, I wanted to update every 100 pages. And again, didn't want to film yesterday because it was hot and public stuff. So it is technically 200. Reached the 206 pages mark, but that's because the 200-page mark was in the middle of a chapter, and I didn't want to stop reading just for the update. So we've got Robin's Scar situation is now on the open, but she has yet to divulge her rocky marriage stuff. Katie's probably getting a love interest, but at the same time is dealing with her childhood trauma, which is awful, and I hate that that this is happening to her. I have no idea if my theory is correct or not, because I've only read like 3 chapters since I've last updated you. But yes, currently invested, but Katie is still definitely my favorite POV. And honestly, Grace's ones just makes me kind of sad. I'd hate to be in her situation. Grace's, that is, I mean, I'd hate to be in all 3 of their situations. I don't know, Grace's is the most realistic situation that I personally can end up with. I hope I'm never in Robin's situation, because that genuinely terrifying what could have happened. But I mean, Katie's situation is terrifying too, but I don't think I'd ever be in it. It seems like the most implausible out of the 3 of them, which is probably why I'm so invested in it, because I know it can never affect me. Yeah, so I think I'm about halfway at this point as well, so that's good. I will, as I said, update you either when something drastic happens in as non-spoiler way as possible, or at the 300-page mark, and then that, which will be like, there's only like 390 odd pages of this, so getting close to the end, at least presumably for you guys. I'll update you in a moment, I suppose. At least a moment for you. Okay, we're literally a chapter later, which wasn't expecting, but here we are. But yeah, so they've had conversation. Robin's fully opened up about her scars and her relationship issues, which is great, and she's gonna look into options for her, which is great. It's good to see she's moving forward. And something I really appreciate is the fact that none of them downplay the situations that they're in and makes it seem like one is worse than the other, which I think worried about, because they're all in pretty awful situations, but they are all different types of awful, but none of them act like the awful is more awful than the other, if that makes sense. But one of the things I wanted to bring up and why I'm filming this thing is because at the end of the chapter we had a revelation about Grace's situation, which got confirmation, and I won't go into because it's a massive spoiler, and it's like halfway in the book, as I stated before. But because of this revelation, I now have another theory, which is insanely dark and awful if it's true, and obviously I can't go into it because again it's a massive spoiler, but it's just there in the back of my mind now. I'm worried that it's true, genuinely. And Grace's situation is just slowly getting worse as time has gone on, But, you know, they've had the motivational speech at this point, so I'm expecting things to get a bit worse before they get better. But I've never read this author before, so it's entirely possible it'll go uphill from now. I'm not expecting it, but we'll see. Okay, so based off of certain people's reaction, I think my theory's wrong. And I hope it is. Which is good. And also I'm back on the track of, I think Robin and her husband just need to have a conversation. And they'd both be a lot happier. Because I think I have another idea as to why they're not communicating very well. But I'm not sure how I could really explain it without spoilers. But still not at the 300 page mark. And I don't know if I'll update you then. Right. 300 pages in, or rather 314. A lot happened in the last 2 chapters. So in the chapter before this one, we got closure on Casey's situation, and my theory was correct. And I'm very happy with that. My main issue is that it also means like the conflict of Katie's chapters has now been resolved. So now and since she was my favorite POV, I'm wondering what's going to go on now. I mean, we have less than 100 pages left, more like 80 something at this point. But yeah, but Robin, I think, is finally gonna have a conversation with her husband as well, which I'm delighted by. Yeah, one theory incorrect, one theory correct, which I'm happy about, honestly. And presumably the next time I sit down with you, I will have finished it. This book is a goddamn soap opera. Are the theories correct too? I really didn't want it to be, but here we fucking are. What the hell? We are back in my bedroom, and I have officially finished The Summer That Changed Us by Kathy Bramley. And I don't know what I was expecting going into this book, because this isn't something I generally read, though I don't have a preference for genre generally. So I had like zero expectations, and I really enjoyed this. It was a lot more dark than I thought it was, and than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, and while I wasn't as invested in each storyline as at first, in comparison, I did grow to enjoy all 3 of the characters and care for their situation. Oh, hello. She's here to hear my opinions on the book she chose. Alright, she's just gonna sit on the desk for the next thing. Appropriate, I suppose. I was thinking of getting her thing. But, yeah, they felt grounded and real. Yeah, and I thoroughly enjoyed this. There were moments, as I said, with Grace's, the way she talked felt older than she actually is. Thankfully, it was minimum, but it was noticeable when it did happen. I'd say I was right about Robin's situation being dealt with by just through a conversation being needed, but I think from her situation it makes sense why they didn't have the conversation in the first place. Yeah. And Katie remained my favourite character throughout it, though the other 2 did grow on me. And she was treated a little bit like the main character, because I feel like we got a bit more information on her background. We had a whole flashback chapter to her childhood trauma. Yeah, so I was very pleased with her arc in this, and the way she grew her business, the way she found herself again after being thrusted back into her childhood trauma, and with the help of Robin and Grace. And Grace's situation just became worse with every chapter focusing on her, which is awful. And I know I said earlier that hers felt the most like it could happen to me. I hope it never does. It was awful. With all that being said, I did rate it 4 stars. I don't know if I'll ever read it again, but I did rate it 4 stars. Yeah, and the epilogue it was sweet, but it felt a bit too small. I think I'm gonna do a section now where I do a spoiler section, because I want to talk about certain details in the book that will just be spoiler. So there'll be a time thing on screen probably there, if you want to skip it, if you want to read this book. So now everyone who is okay with spoilers or has read the book is present. Cool. So when I picked up this book and read childhood trauma on the back, I did not expect for it to be that she would ended up being scammed into taking naked photos, which is awful, genuinely absolutely horrific. And the fact that the photographers never get away with it and presumably are still exploiting young girls and women throughout the entire thing. I mean, Katie was 18 when this happened, and it sounds like the fact that Howard, the guy one of the guys who scammed her, asked her age. It sounds like they only do it to 18-year-olds and over, but that's so creepy and disgusting. And oh my god, and the fact that Rose, who I guessed pretty much instantly that she had one of the photos when they revealed in the flashback tractor that Robin had that Katie had dropped all of the photos in the bathroom floor after she passed out, that Rose had taken one. But the fact that, as far as I'm aware, she never gets arrested for blackmailing her is awful. And Grace's sister sleeping with her husband, and Grace only finding out about it after he dies, and they have a child. It's insane. And I'm really happy that Grace isn't holding it against Ruby, her niece, her sister's child, and her stepdaughter, which was a worry. And I don't know why she would hold it against Ruby. She's a baby. She didn't ask to be born. And Miles, Grace's late husband, ex-wife, she was awful. It's frankly, why did she take such pleasure in making Grace miserable? Yeah, and Robin's situation, as I said, is very heavy in the miscommunication trope. So if you don't like that, don't watch it. So her family has like a history of cancer, and so she got tested to see if she was like at risk of getting cancer, and she tested positive for it. And so because of that, she decided to get, I can't remember what the surgeries are, I'll put them on the thing here, but basically where she gets her breast tissue and her ovaries removed to reduce her chance of a breast and ovarian cancer, which is a smart thing to do. The problem is, the reason she got the test in the first place was because her and her husband, Finn, had agreed to have a child. The thing is, Robin didn't actually want a child, which is... And the way she phrased it was like, marriage is about compromising about what you want for dinner, not for having a child. Thankfully, Finn also didn't want a child, and apparently only went along with it because he thought that Robin did, which is just as bad, honestly. And they could have saved so much hardship, like between them, like intimacy wise, and like that's not to erase like the trauma and like the stress and the discomfort that Robin and other previvors, which is a word that I've just discovered through this book, so very interesting. Yes. And another thing is that when Katie's photos get revealed at the end of the book, which is awful because Rose posted digital copies. Another reason why I'm upset she never got arrested. And then Katie did this big speech at the end for like explaining why she had why the photos exist, why she ended up in a situation, and how it made her feel, and then ended it with like a big thing of like body positivity, which is great, and I'm not going to downplay that. It's just, I think in this situation, it never seemingly impacted her at all. Like, and I expected her friends and her love interest Barney and to not like scorn her for it. But the fact that other people didn't felt a bit unrealistic. And I understand why Kathy wouldn't want to write about that because it's awful, but still, it made her feel like she was worrying and stressing and like deeply affected by this for nothing, for it just not to mean anything. And then this was a trauma that had been plaguing her since she was 18, so 10 years as of the book, as of the beginning of the book. And yeah, and Grace is inserted like romance at the end with Ned, the person who owns the holiday house she's renting. Felt a bit too quick, considering the fact she just found out someone who she thought was her soulmate had cheated on her and had a child with her sister. I feel like her immediately getting into a romance with her ex, with her late husband's closest friend, felt a bit unrealistic as well. Like, I would understand why if it was like hinted at and like there was obviously like attraction there, but like immediately the way they phrased it, like he kissed her, and the way she, like her internal monologue sounded as if they would like immediately like go at it. And I don't know, that felt a bit fast for me, but I've never been in Grace's situation, so I don't know. And the thing is, it's called The Summer That Changed Us. Majority of this book takes place in spring because it's set over April and May, and in the UK that's spring. Nitpicky, which is why it's 4 stars and not any higher, because I love these characters, all things considered. Well, not love's a bit stronger. I do really enjoy these characters and the story that they've told, but I am nitpicky. But anyway, we're back. People who avoided spoilers. I mean, well, now you would think I'd pick the next 2 books. We'll go find the other cat, Loki, and have him pick the next 2 books, which I will. But before then, if you've watched my Dracula reading blog, you'll know that I added one of the characters from that book to my Tomodachi Life game, the original one for the DS. Not the original one. The original one's Japanese, but the one for the US. So now that the new Tomodachi Life game is out, I will at some point I'm gonna add Katie, because she was my favorite character, to my island once I get the game off my brother. So you'll see that in a second once I go deal with whatever he's doing. Oh, I need to do that.
Nice to meet you. I'm Katie. I'm a reserved perfectionist. I'll keep this brief. I'm serious about the things that matter and don't have time for the things that don't. I'm glad to be here.
And there we go. Gonna just move her house and then I'll introduce the books and then get Loki to pick them. Okay. Gotta get this through quickly because it's late and I still need to reorganize the bookshelf. But yes, going back to that the random generated books thing from the beginning, I have picked from that list The Midnight Library by Matt Haig and Murder After Midnight by Leslie Cookman. I assume that's pronounced as oo. But I have no way of knowing. 2 very different books from the last one I read, but I figured, why not? And this one has a cat on it. And also, on Goodreads, it's in, like, as a book thing. They have, like, multiple series listed as one complete thing. that is listed as that, as well as You'll Get Through This Night, Daniel Howell book. So I've had it on for probably about like 2 years now as half read, because I've read You'll Get Through This Night but have not read this. So yeah, and this one includes bonus material exclusive to Waterstones, though I don't know if I'm gonna read this yet. I will get to the treats and find the cat. Guess we're reading The Midnight Library. Right, so we will be reading The Midnight Library by Nat Haig. Won't lie, I'm slightly nervous for this because, well, people tend to have very mixed feelings about this. I think I brought this after a Pride March a couple years ago, but I can't remember which one. Ooh, that's cute. It's got a little library card thing. Funny enough, I do need to go to the library tomorrow. Between life and death, there is a library. When Nora Seed finds herself in the Midnight Library, she has a chance to make things right. Up until now, her life has been full of misery and regret. She feels ill she has let everyone down, including herself, but everything is about to change. The books in the Midnight Library enable Nora to live as if she had done things differently. With the help of an old friend, she can now undo every one of her regrets as she tries to work out her perfect life. But things aren't always what she imagined they'd be. As soon as her choices place the library and herself in extreme danger. Before time runs out, she must answer the ultimate question: what is the best way to live? With that, I got a lot easier than I did the Summer That Changed Us. Wow, he's written a lot. To all the health workers and the care workers. Cute. Oh, okay, the chapters don't have numbers. It's annoying. It's got to be like around 300 pages, right? Yeah, just under 300 pages. 280. So I should get this done relatively quickly. Alright. I'll let you know how this goes, I suppose. Again, as I did before, if I DNF this, I'll get Loki to pick between another 2 books. It'll probably be Check and Mate and was it Murder After Midnight? Because I think all the other books were part of series, or is about, yeah. But right this minute, I'm gonna go to bed because it's late. So good night, and I'll update you in the morning. Hello, it's 2 days later. Sorry I didn't film anything. It was really, really hot, and I could not focus on anything at all. But I have started the book. This is it without the dust jacket. There's no name on the spine, which is weird because there's usually a name on the spine with hardcovers sort of thing. The chapters of this one are very short, which is good. Usually that would probably be about like 3, maybe 4 chapters, but it's not. I can't tell you how many chapters there were, but it was a lot more than 4 chapters. It's a lot. I completely forgot about the premise of this book, and I think I might have slightly confused it with The Secret Life of Addie LaRue, which I know the premise of that. So I forgot how the main character gets to the library, and I haven't actually gotten to that point yet. Still got, I think, about 2 chapters before that, so like 3 or 4 pages. So not looking forward to however that's described, if it's described at all, obviously. But yeah, so far I have no real thoughts. A lot of things have been thrown at me. I can tell definitely that the main character is miserable. I know that for sure. But currently I have no feelings towards her because I've just met her. I mean, I sympathize slightly but not as much as I would if I had known her and her entire, like, had an entire, I don't know, arc with her, if that makes sense. But, oh, sorry I keep putting my things in front of the thing. I am, again, in just my binder. It's still really hot in the UK. Fuck climate change. We've properly screwed over the planet. I'm so thankful I'm not in, like, Paris. I hear it's like 40 degrees and a lot of people are dying of heat stroke just all across Europe right now, which is horrifying and really upsetting. I hope this is a wake-up call for climate deniers or climate change deniers. But yeah, that's basically all I have to say about the book. But in other news, I got tickets for Dan and Phil's next tour, which is monumental. I am just doing general this time because one, the meet and greets and silver Q&A are so much more expensive than they were for Tit, and also I'm paying for both me and my mum this time, and I think about that, how much I paid for both of our tickets is plus the insurance to make sure, tickets fine, was about the same as about, like, I think slightly cheaper actually than a silver ticket, which is like 99 quid at a base. And like, power to the people who can afford meet and greets and silver. I am envious of you, but yeah, I do not have that money. And I'm also not really hyper-fixating on Dan and Phil at the moment, so I'm not too upset about it. But Dan and Phil tour, with that in mind, is the only time I've ever bought, like, show tickets for myself. So I had no idea what buying tickets is like. All I remember is that, was it 2 years ago at this point, buying tickets were very stressful and upsetting because a whole emotional roller coaster. But I re-downloaded like one of the apps to Eventim? I've always said Eventime, but I think it's Eventim, to check the prices of the London shows, because it was one of the thing. And while I was there, I thought I'd check to see how Shoot from the Hips Apollo tour is going, and there's still tickets available, which I knew because they're still actively promoting it. But I think it just hit me slightly how different it is for Dan and Phil selling tickets in comparison to literally any other artist, whether it be a YouTuber or a comedy group or a band. Literally, they will sell out within like 10-20 minutes, like, I don't know, 40 minutes at most, which is insane. And that's basically the end of my thoughts on it. There's not really much more to say than that. Apparently they sell out quicker than K-pop groups, which is insane to me. Well, I've never looked at a band tickets before, so I don't know how quickly they sell out and stuff, but that still boggles my mind. But yeah, I unfortunately cannot go to either Dan and Phil's Apollo show or Shoot from the Hips, because while I can afford a general Shoot from the Hip ticket for the Apollo, I live in York, so the travel down to London would just be outside of my price range, unfortunately. So presumably tickets will still be available. I don't know, maybe I'll link the Apollo stuff in the description, or at the very least their page. Yeah, so buy Apollo tickets if you're a Shoot from the Hip fan. I don't know how I feel about the book at the moment. I think I'm pretty sure I made that clear. If not, I'm sorry. Strong. We'll see how it goes. It's less than 300 pages, so I'm expecting to finish it pretty quickly. But again, if I don't enjoy it, I will just DNF. But we'll see.
I got an MRI today, but that's not important because it's nothing to do with the reading vlog. But what is relevant to the reading vlog is that I was reading the Midnight Library. I don't know where that stain came from. I presume it's water. I don't know. But while I was waiting for it to happen, I had this thought that if we had cut out the little bit in the beginning where we explored Nora, the main character's like life leading up to her being in the library, and then throughout like her course in the library and like going through the course of what you do at the library. I can't remember the blow off the top of my head. I feel like, and then through there we have to try and pick out what her life was like. I feel like that would have been a bit more interesting, a bit more of a pull to try and figure out who she was before she was here, as well as her trying to contend with who she isn't, or who she's trying to be through the library, if that makes sense. I don't know if it does. But yeah, I'm just a little bit off halfway, I think, which is something. It's more than yesterday, that's for sure. It's a lot cooler than it was yesterday and like the day before that, and I also don't have like stuff to do, so I'm more time to read. Besides the MRI, I had nothing on today, and that was pretty late in the afternoon, so I've had more time to read. So far I'm meh. It's not like I'm not hating it, but I'm not like overly loving it either. To I don't know. I think just now from where I'm at page. I've just finished page 134, which is a chapter labeled the island. Yeah, and I think I'm a bit more into it than I was, and it's a very short chapter, as I said, so it's very like easy to read. But I'm not like hoping but I'm not like super involved with Nora's character that much. Which isn't great because she's the main character. I don't really have any strong feelings towards her besides, I guess, sympathy verging on pity. Because, yeah, if there's any, and I'm gonna try with the 100 pages update thing again, which I missed because I was reading at the hospital. So that's my update. We're back in the living room because my dad's working from home again today, and I've reached the 200 pages mark, which means I'm 99 pages to the end because this book's got a bonus chapter, so it's slightly longer than the regular book. I don't really have anything to report besides that this book's explanation of the multiverse is the most consistent I've ever seen. And, yeah, I still think it would have been better if we hadn't had the chapters of Nora's life pre-coming to the library, and instead we tried to piece together what life she had while she lived the life she didn't. Yeah, that's kind of my update. We'll see if I update before the end. I'm not counting on it, but, you know. We never know, I might pick up the last 99 pages. It's not that I'm not enjoying it, but I'm not, like, over, like, I can't really explain it. It's not bad, but it's not, like, amazing. It's just kind of fine, which, not necessarily a bad thing, but considering how popular this book is, I think I expected something a bit more. I don't know. I mean, the concept's really strong at the very least, and I'm enjoying her going through the library for the most part. But sometimes I find myself a bit bored, admittedly. Yeah, that's the update. Hello! Back in my bedroom, and got dressed, and and I have in fact finished The Midnight Library, and it was a book. It wasn't bad or anything like that, but it wasn't amazing, and for like majority of the book I was just kind of, I guess, just kind of there reading about what happened, which is what you do with all books, but it didn't really feel like I had a connection or I cared too much about the character, which isn't great. I mean, and it felt a bit like I was just reading for the sake of reading, which I didn't mind,
and I only really started to care in the last like 20-30 pages, which I don't think is great for a book. With that in mind, I will be rating this 3.5. I've added the 0.5 because I did genuinely feel like that excitement and enjoyment right at the end, but it was right at the end. So yeah, but I didn't necessarily hate this book or anything like that. And I still maintain that it probably would have been a bit more, I guess, consistent, I don't know, more interesting if they cut out all of the parts that weren't due to the library. So like the bit before Nora gets to the library, and maybe a bit of the thing after the library as well, because I mean it's a cute epilogue thing and like hopeful for the character, but I saw it coming immediately from the premise of the book and as I was reading it, which I don't know if that's necessarily a good or a bad thing, but it's what I experienced. But with that in mind, I have finished this reading vlog with these two books, very, very different books, and enjoyed this one more than the other, which makes sense because this is the one that was picked by Daisy, and she has scented a lot of my books when I'm reading it, and Loki doesn't generally spend that much time in my lap, and when he is, it usually results in him biting me. I really enjoyed this and will probably do this again, probably when I finish the Percy Jackson books, because the next books I have after that is the Heroes of Olympus, I think, the sequel series after that. So just to give me a break between the series, I'll probably get my cats to pick something new. Which with that, and speaking of Percy Jackson, that should be the next reading vlog, though I am planning on releasing, I still need to film it, another video after that will have to do with that guy. If you don't recognize him, he's the guy on my channel profile picture. His name is Sleepy Bear, and it also has to do with something he's wearing in that profile picture, but I won't get into too much detail. But yeah, I'd also mention I can't picture myself rereading this like ever, so I will also be unhauling this, which not too bad. I've argued, and it gives me more space for new things. Just so you're aware, it doesn't necessarily impact you, but that's what I'm doing. Let me know in the comments below if you would watch this format again, if you enjoyed me doing a reading vlog again, because this will be complete before the other one I have halfway filmed will come out, unfortunately. But yeah, I won't be adding any character from the Midnight Library to my Tomodachi Life Island because I don't care about the characters enough to do that, unfortunately. But oh well, you win some, you lose some. But yeah, comments down below, let me know your thoughts and feelings. Stay tuned for the video involving that person, that teddy bear, and then after that should be the Percy Jackson reading vlog, and yeah, I guess after that will be Heroes of Olympus and so on and so forth. So I don't know what that speaks of the TikTok compilations, but in all honesty, as easy as those are to make, and I do enjoy making them, I definitely now just have more time where I can actually sit down and film stuff with my face. So I probably will do a bit more of that from going forward, just so you're aware. But that, I think, is not everything I wanted to say. So thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and all the other YouTube algorithm things, and I'll see you next time, probably, if you've enjoyed this. Bye!